They told her, "It's just family." She made one choice that blew everything up. The call hit like an air horn in a library, loud, rude, and impossible to ignore. One line, 4 words. "It's just for family." That sentence would knock a domino that toppled a party, a reputation or two, and an entire family's favorite illusion. It would also shove one woman into the life she'd been too polite to claim. Her name was Lena Brooks, and while she didn't love drama, she was about to become its reluctant main character. Lena lived in Tacoma, Washington, in a skylit loft that smelled like coffee grounds and fresh prints. She was a photographer, good at it too, the kind of artist who could make rain look like silk and street corners look like memory. On a Thursday afternoon, she was deep in edits, the world narrowed to color balance and skin tones, when her phone lit up with her sister's name, Marina Hale. Marina's voice always had a sheen to it, like a TV commercial that thought too highly of itself. She worked as a local morning show host in Seattle, and years of smiling into cameras had sanded her edges into a perfect, polished shape. "Hey, Len," Marina sang, like she had confetti in her mouth. "Heads up. Mom and Dad's anniversary thing is this weekend. We're keeping it super intimate. Just family." Lena paused mid-keystroke. "Just family?" "Right," Marina chirped. "Anyway, Mom's swamped. She would have called, but we didn't want to drag you out of your routine. You're always so busy." That word, busy, landed like a slap dressed as a compliment, as in, you're unhelpful, unreliable, optional, as in, we don't want you there, and we need a nice, tidy excuse. Lena stared at her screen, the photo in front of her suddenly a blur of pixels. She swallowed hard. "Where is it?" "Downtown Seattle. Nothing big," Marina said, airy, casual, a liar with perfect teeth. "All right, gotta run. Segment meeting." Click. Silence. Lena sat in the stillness, waiting for her cheeks to cool. She didn't cry, she didn't scream. She just listened to the quiet boil of her own heartbeat and felt something old in her chest go sharp and hot. Because here's the thing they never say out loud. Lena was the reliable one, the get-up-and-go one. The person with jumper cables and spare cash and a habit of saying yes when she should have said, "Not a chance." 2 years back, when Carolyn and Thomas Brooks, her parents, discovered their roof leaked like a colander, Lena wrote a check, $14,800. No paperwork, no repayment plan. "We'll sort it out," they'd said, and then never mentioned it again. When her brother Evan, a corporate attorney out in Chicago, couldn't make rent during his first big firm winter, she'd sent $9,000 with a dumb, "You've got this" gif, and he'd texted, "You're the best," like he couldn't get the words out fast enough. He never brought it up afterward, except when he needed help with another temporary pinch. A month ago, Carolyn messaged about decorations for the anniversary. "Honey, it's small. Just a sweet dinner with a few people. Could you spot us $1,800 for florals and a decent cake?" Lena sent it. Then Marina called and wondered if Lena could cover their aunt's plane ticket from San Diego. "It's barely $1,100, she'd said, like it was a latte. Lena said no, not rudely, just firmly. And the temperature on the call had dropped 10 degrees. Marina wrapped it with a chirpy, "No worries," the exact tone you use when you're absolutely holding it against someone. Now, just family looped in Lena's head like an ugly jingle. She tried to work. She couldn't. She tried to tell herself she'd misheard. She hadn't. Her phone buzzed again. Faye Harper, her cousin, an accountant with a steel-trap brain and a first-class nose for shenanigans. "Are you sitting down?" Faye asked, no preamble. "What? Why?" Lena said carefully. "Because I am standing inside the Goldfinch on the Seattle waterfront. Yeah, the fancy one. And I'm looking at a seating chart for 50 people, a live jazz trio, champagne tower, a floral budget that looks like a down payment, and guess whose name is not on any list, any place, anywhere?" Faye's voice shook, not from nerves, but from anger. "They didn't forget you. They cut you." Lena's grip on the phone tightened until her knuckles matched the white tiles behind her sink. "You're serious?" "I wish I wasn't. Also, the restaurant was booked 3 months ago. Faye said. This wasn't casual. This was strategy. Thanks, Lena said. Just that, because anything else would have cracked her open. She ended the call and dialed Marina. When her sister answered, Lena didn't bother pretending. You said it was just family. There are 50 people on that list. A beat of silence, and then Marina's smiley voice deflated. Lena, don't do this. Do what? Turn it into a thing. It's a vibe, okay? We wanted no drama. Mom and Dad deserve something elegant. So your version of elegant is excluding your sister? Lena asked, keeping her voice level even while her pulse pounded. Marina exhaled through her nose. You're independent. You're always off doing your own thing. It felt better to keep it tight. Independent. The word detonated in Lena's gut. Independent meant, you don't revolve around us, so you don't count. Independent meant, we can take and then pretend you were never there. I paid for your tight, Lena said quietly. I paid for the roof, for decorations, for the stuff you're pretending just happened. I'm not asking for a plaque, Marina, but I am, bare minimum, family. You're making this about you, Marina snapped, and there it was, the pivot from guilt to accusation. Don't be that person. Lena let the silence sit. When she spoke again, her tone had a brand new steel in it. You made your choice. Here's mine. She hung up. On Saturday morning, Lena called Harper, her best friend, who worked for a boutique travel agency and had saved Lena's sanity more than once. I need out, Lena said, blunt. I need a trip that feels like hitting the eject button. Harper didn't ask why. She didn't need to. Where? Someplace loud and alive, where I can disappear in a crowd, Lena said, the vision surfacing as she spoke. Barcelona. Say less, Harper replied. In 90 minutes, she had a first-class fare from SeaTac for Sunday morning. A room at a minimalist hotel in Elborn with a rooftop plunge pool, a table at a tapas bar everyone swore by, and a sunrise tour booking that included a private vantage point overlooking Sagrada Familia. You'll be 30,000 feet away before anyone pours the first glass of bubbly, she said. Go make a choice for you. For the first time in a long time, Lena exhaled all the way down. She packed like she was curating a show. Primes and wide angles, fresh SD cards, 2 batteries, 1 black dress, 2 white tees, sneakers that could sprint. She didn't write a manifesto. She didn't schedule an argument. She just said an out-of-office reply that said, back soon. Building something. Sunday, she boarded the plane with a camera bag and a calm that felt wild. She landed to heat and chatter and the amber light Barcelona throws around like confetti. By late afternoon, Lena had shot a saxophonist on La Rambla, a grandma laughing so hard her eyes vanished, and a shadow slicing up a centuries-old wall like a knife. She posted a simple carousel that night. 1 balcony, 1 cup of cortado, 1 sunlit tile. The caption read, Choosing Joy. Be right back. She didn't mention her family. She didn't have to. Back in Seattle, the party at the Goldfinch preened under chandeliers, all linen and crystal, and we did it, guys. The jazz trio slid into Cheek to Cheek. Guests gossiped about real estate and the price of halibut. Marina floated through the room like a brand ambassador for the brand Marina. Evan shook hands like he billed in 6-minute increments. And then the whispers started. A neighbor showed a cousin her phone. A cousin showed an aunt. An aunt showed Mrs. Eleanor Pike, a church matriarch who famously did not tolerate nonsense. Isn't Lena their daughter? Someone asked. Why is she in Spain while this is happening? Another murmured. Thought this was just family, a third muttered, not even trying to be quiet. Within minutes, the Goldfinch's air shifted. Not catastrophic, not yet, but different. Threads in a sweater tugged light by light until you start to see the gap. Eleanor Pike, whose signature move was calling out mess with impeccable diction, intercepted Carolyn by the cake. Where is your girl, dear? She asked, voice velveted and edged. Oh, Eleanor, Lena's always traveling for work, Carolyn said, smiling like her face hurt. We didn't want to pressure her. You know how artists are. Eleanor's eyebrows lifted. I do. I also know what families are. Carolyn looked away. Let's not make a scene. You made the scene, Eleanor said, soft as a slap. She patted Carolyn's wrist and went to refill her drink. Faye texted Lena from the bathroom stall. Your post is bouncing around this party like a beach ball. People are asking questions out loud. Eleanor Pike just body-checked Aunt Carolyn with grammar. It's messy. Lena, barefoot on her hotel bed with jet lag and a grin, responded, I didn't post to throw a grenade. I posted because I needed air. Faye, honey, you didn't throw anything. They lit the fuse. By 9, a handful of guests had made graceful exits with not-so-graceful faces. The jazz trio kept playing, but the room had gone stiff in places. Evan tried to deflect. Lena's on assignment, he told a partner of Thomas's. When pressed, he switched to, it's complicated, which is what people say when the truth would be too loud. Marina, seeing the shift, pasted on a bigger smile. It didn't help. A theater kid knows when the audience has turned. Monday morning, Lena's phone detonated. First, Carolyn. I hope you're happy, she snapped. Your little vacation post humiliated us. People left early. Your father didn't sleep a wink. Lena watched sunlight climb the stone wall across from her window. Mom, I didn't mention you. Or the event. You lied to me and cut me out. If people are doing math on their own, that's not my problem. What happened to being a family? She asked, voice bending into something brittle. What happened to acting like one? Lena said. Click. Next, Marina. Take the post down, she ordered, the stage whisper of someone hiding in a conference room. No, Lena said. You owe Mom and Dad that much. Lena laughed once, sharp. I owe them honesty. I'm finally paying that tab. God, you're impossible, Marina said, and hung up like she expected the world to clap. Evan tried for reasonable. This was a misunderstanding, he said. You should have talked to us before you escalated. You should have talked to me before you erased me, Lena said. We're done here. He shifted into lawyer voice. You're being emotional. And you're being condescending, she said, ending the call mid-sentence. An hour later, Evan posted something vague and slimy. Some people love attention more than family. Sad. It was the kind of passive-aggressive that leaves fingerprints. A few colleagues liked it. A few unfollowed him. Someone from his firm's HR, apparently, did both. Harper rang next. How's Spain, you heartbreaker? It's loud and perfect, Lena smiled into the phone, and weirdly peaceful. Good. Don't let their mess rent space in your head, Harper said. Stay out there. Shoot everything. Eat everything. Breathe. Lena did. She photographed morning shadows like silk scarves, a kid playing soccer with a bottle cap, a couple so in love their laughter made everyone on the street smile. She was busy living. Fallout travels faster than apologies. By midweek, Marina lost a coveted weekend anchor fill-in. The station wouldn't put it in writing, but word trickled back through someone who knew a producer who knew a news director. The phrase was reputation risk. Social media screenshots had made the rounds. Family drama never plays well on camera, not when your brand is sunny and steady. Evan got called into a conversation that used terms like online conduct, professional judgment, and public perception. No one fired him. They didn't need to. Leadership track became maybe later. The man who loved ladders found himself parked on a landing. At St. Mark's, Carolyn and Thomas's church, Sunday felt cooler. The couples they'd laughed with at potluck sat a row back. People who used to hug offered nods. Eleanor Pike greeted them with a kind, firm, "Good morning." The kind you give when you're choosing mercy over commentary. Faye kept Lena updated in short bursts that read like headlines. Faye, Marina's audition got iced. Faye, Evan is pretending he doesn't check comments. He checks comments. Faye, your mom is fine, which means absolutely not fine. Your dad asked about your Barcelona photos and then didn't text you. Lena didn't gloat. She didn't scheme. She went to Park Güell at sunrise and let the city pour color into her. She sent Harper a shot of terracotta roofs like scales on a sleeping dragon, and Harper texted, "Holy wow, that's a cover." A gallery owner in Tacoma slid into Lena's inbox with a subject line that made her heart stutter. Solo show proposal. He'd been following her work. He'd seen the Barcelona set and the way her light felt. Tender, but unsparing. He wanted a spring exhibition, maybe a book, maybe more. She said yes. Then a travel magazine she'd bookmarked for years wrote, "Are you available for a European city series?" She read the email 3 times. She wrote back once, "Absolutely." 2 weeks later, Carolyn called, sounding like someone walking barefoot on eggshells. "Honey," she started, "let's talk. Come home, we'll work it out at the table." Lena closed her eyes. The ask rolled in like muscle memory. Come home, be small, smooth it over. Return to normal, that soft, dangerous word that often means our comfort, your silence. "I'm not ready," she said gently. "I'm working. I'm good. We just want things like they were." "I don't," Lena said, and this time there was no apology tucked in the pocket of her tone. "But I hope you both find peace." She hung up and cried in that quiet, chest-deep way that feels like rinsing something clean. Then she got back to work. She shot Lisbon next, hills that made your calves curse and blue tiles that made your eyes praise. She learned the names of pastries and then forgot them on purpose so she could ask again. She met a street painter who said her photos looked like how homesick feels right before you buy the ticket. Back home, her loft became a war room. Prints on clipboards, a floor map of frames and labels, and where the light would hit the wall at 5:08 p.m. She said no to a dozen tiny requests that used to be automatic yeses. She said yes to the right things. Rest, walks, actual lunch. Her friends noticed the difference. Her work did too. When the show opened in spring, people stood in front of a single photo for 12 minutes without speaking. A kid tugged his mom's sleeve and whispered, "The light looks like it's humming." A retired teacher bought 3 pieces for reasons she couldn't quite explain and didn't need to. Lena didn't spot her parents in the crowd. She didn't expect to. Faye hugged her, weepy and proud. Harper brought flowers and a flask for celebratory sips behind the curtain. A journalist asked, "What changed?" Lena looked at the photo the journalist pointed to, sun flaring on a balcony where no one stood, but it felt like someone had just left, and it was somehow okay. "I stopped waiting for permission," she said. "Turns out you can just pick your life." Later that night, walking home under street lamps that flicked on one by one, Lena found herself thinking about that original sentence. It's just for family. She knew now that family is not an automatic club you get forever. It's not measured in matching last names or group chats or who gets invited to an overpriced dinner with a tiny dessert. It's measured in who tells the truth when it costs them, in who says sorry like they mean it, in who shows up not to be seen, but to see you. She had a new circle now, people who clapped when she said no, people who sat with her in the quiet, people who didn't ask her to be small so they could feel large. Some shared her blood, some didn't. All of them counted. As for Marina and Evan, they each sent the occasional olive branch shaped like a practical question. "Do you know a good photographer for headshots? Any tips for a weekend in Lisbon?" Lena responded with links and kindness, not because she owed them, but because it cost her nothing and released something heavy from her hands. Carolyn and Thomas mailed a letter in July. It didn't say, "We're sorry," outright. It said, "We didn't see it and we're trying to." It said, "We want to know how to do better." It said, "If you want to meet at the park, we'll bring tea." Lena read it twice and then a third time and then put it in a drawer she could open later. Not everything needs a fast answer. Some forgiveness grows on slow vines. Months rolled. The magazine stories ran. The gallery asked for a second show. An email arrived from a film director who wanted to talk about a collaboration. Lena started waking up before her alarm again because the day sounded interesting. When people online asked about the Barcelona post, the one that had accidentally set a fuse, she told them the truth in a way that didn't feed the fire. "I was told I didn't fit the room," she wrote, "so I found a different room. Then I made it mine." Her comments filled with strangers and not strangers telling their own versions. Holiday dinners where someone weaponized tradition, weddings where someone got uninvited to keep the vibe, group texts where love was a scoreboard. People said same and me too, and I thought I was the only one. They weren't. They never are. Lena didn't become a guru. She didn't draft a 12-step guide. She just kept making pictures that told the truth about light and absence and the shape of relief. She kept choosing. She kept saying no to the old kind of normal and yes to the kind that fit. And whenever someone asked, "What finally made you walk away?" she gave the simplest answer. They did. I just kept going. If you've read this far, you probably know that moment. The line someone drew that turned you into a ghost at your own table. Maybe you've been the one to slip out the side door and find a street that didn't have your name on it yet, and you walked anyway. So here's the question Lena would ask you if this were a room and not a page. Where's your door? And what's the quiet, steady choice waiting on the other side? Because sometimes the most radical thing you can do is nothing flashy. No big speech, no smashing plates. Sometimes the bravest move is a plane ticket, a posted photo, a life you begin without anyone's permission slip. Sometimes the loudest thing you'll ever say is the life you choose to live. The party will end. The band will pack up. The champagne tower will go sticky and sad. People will forget the toasts, the centerpieces, the overpriced halibut. But they will not forget the moment you picked yourself. Neither will you.